Hi dancers, welcome back. Today I'll be sharing with you 5 of my favorite ballerina hacks that I use all the time. There are lots of different ways that people do these hacks, but I've found these ways to be the most helpful and the most reliable, so here we go, I'll share them with you. So hack number 1 is going to be how to tie off a good, fast and reliable knot at the end of your thread for when you're sewing your shoes. A lot of the times we notice that our ribbons will fall off our shoes by accident, and it's mostly due to because the knot slips. So far, knock on wood, I have been using this tying technique and my ribbons have never fallen off my shoes. So we have our needle and the thread, and I have the thread double looped around the needle base. You're going to grab the end of the thread and you're going to place that, if you hold your needle in your left hand, you're going to place the end of the thread over the bottom end of the needle. And you're going to hold that with your left hand. So you just have a tail between your thumb and your finger on your left hand. You grab the remaining from that tail and you loop it twice around. Once, twice. You could do 3 times if you want. And then with that looped area, you put that into the thumb that's already squeezing the tail part, and you hold your fingers around the top of the needle and you start to pull it through. So we're going to pull it to my right, and it goes, you keep the knot in these fingers right here. You pull it all the way through, and at the end you'll see it's a perfect knot. So then to tie off the knot at the end of sewing your shoes, you can do the same knot. So I'm just going to show you, pretending like I've sewn my ribbons or elastics on, and this is the last stitch that you're doing. So you're going to go in and back out halfway, so your needle still remains in the shoe. You're going to take the part of the thread that remains coming through the satin, not from the needle, and you're going to wrap that section around the needle just like we did before. So you can do 2 or 3 loops around, and with your left hand you're just going to keep that thread close to the bottom of the needle, and you're going to pull that needle through all the way, and that knot will stay, and you'll pull the thread all the way and tightly at the end, and then that's your knot. Tip number 2 is going to be how to stop your ribbons from fraying. So we've all had to deal with this where our ribbons just fray at the end, and if you get this one string that's pulling, you pull it anymore, it's just going to keep going and going and going and going, and you're left with this terrible frayage at the end of your ribbons. A super easy way to fix that is actually to cut your ribbon on a big slanted diagonal. So with some really nice sharp scissors, if you hold the 2 edges, you just cut really sharply on that diagonal, nice straight line, and you'll notice that that fraying is no longer. Hack number 3 is how to stop your holes in your tights from running and getting any bigger. So we've all had the problem of getting little nicks in our tights and them leaving holes, and then when you wear it more, it just starts to run and pull, and then you can no longer wear your tights. So to help fix that from running, if you actually use some clear nail polish, you can use any brand, preferably clear. If you have like a nude or a light pink color, that will also work. But if you just get the nail polish, kind of open up the hole a little bit and really try to get the interior of the hole, so it kind of like makes a crust to the edge of the hole. I'm gonna use a little bit more so you can really see that it's gotten a little bit wet around the edges. You can see where the wetness is, so you know that you've gotten the whole perimeter of the hole. And once that dries, it'll be staying one little hole rather than spreading to a big hole. Hack number 4 is how to cut your tights so that your toes have a little bit more freedom, and you can have your ouch patches on the top of your tights rather than having them inside and it getting all slippery. So I'm going to show you how to cut your tights so that they're almost like a thong between your toes, so that you can use your toe tape and have a little bit more access to your toes before they go into your point shoes. So these are convertible tights, but you can do it with either convertible or full footed tights. And you're just gonna cut a small, very small hole here, which will be for your big toe, and then here, which will be for your rest of your toes. And the center part is gonna stay in between the big and second toe. So I usually keep the edge of the seam here intact, otherwise it'll run all the way through this part of the tights. If you just make a little pinch, and really, really small. You can always cut more, so it's best to start with a little bit. So really small. So that's one hole, and then you leave that little gap here and make another pinch. This one can be a little bigger, and again, don't cut the edge of this seam right here if you have seams in your tights. And this one. Okay, so you can see small hole, a little bit bigger, and this part will go between your toes. So then I'll show you when it goes onto your foot. So when you put it on your foot, you place the big toe through the first hole, and the other toes go through the rest, so that you can then have full manipulation with your toes into your point shoes. And use your toe tape, and then your ouch patches will go over the top of this. I've changed into a Leo for hack number 5, which is showing you how to do a pinch of your leotard to create a different look. So you're gonna take a medium size safety pin, and you're going to poke in the center and kind of like 2 inches down from the top of your leotard. And you're gonna put your finger inside so that you don't poke yourself, and come up and back out. So you can see the needle is back out the front. Then you're gonna poke down, and you're gonna pick up the fabric down here on the inside. So you're gonna pull it away a little bit, flip it down, and pick up this fabric on the inside, just a little bit of it. And then you're gonna close that off after that step. Then the safety pin is gonna wanna flip anyway, so you're gonna let it fall down and inside, and there you have a whole new leotard look. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next week. Bye.